Hey, welcome to Back in the Dave, and I'm David Knight. And I guess everybody's wondering where the hell I've been. I've been out. I've been doing my thing. We are in the month of June. For those of you who follow the show, you know I did not put out a podcast in the month of May. And I'll tell you what happened, okay? I'll tell you what happened. A lot of things happened. Like after I released Take It Higher, a bunch of stuff started going on, which actually it's all really, really kind of good stuff. So I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. But it just kind of kept snowballing. Ooh, where do I start? I guess the best place to start is the end of Take It Higher was great. It was fantastic. It was good. Thank everybody so much for joining me and coming in with it and all that good fun. It was really great. Thank you for everybody who got into the last podcast episode and all the feedback from that. I really appreciate it. Short story, I needed some downtime. And so I had to take some downtime and just really kind of sort my head through in terms of where I wanted to go next and what's the next song to be released and all those fun things. The other thing is that, one, I became a grandfather again in April. And all of the grandfather stuff and hanging with my daughter and her fiance and then her oldest daughter, and just on the phone and just back and forth. And I had to hang out with my oldest granddaughter for a couple days while my daughter and her fiance were in the hospital giving birth to what is now my youngest granddaughter. So now my grandson CJ, he's no longer the youngest. The new baby, her name is Emery. And gosh, she is so beautiful, right? She gave birth on April 15th. It was about 2:37 in the afternoon. I know Lila, my granddaughter, her and I were watching the clock, and she's, Papa, come on, like, when's it gonna happen? Like, when's I gonna get the baby? And she's running back and forth in this daggone house, driving me nuts that whole day. So finally, Tracy, my first wife, gave us a buzz, say, hey, the baby's here, come on out. So we jumped in the car. It was kind of bittersweet. Because when Lila was born, my first granddaughter, I was in the delivery room when Rhea delivered Lila. And so I got to have the whole experience of my first grandchild being born. Now that Lila is 10 years old, needed a babysitter. So who got the job? Me. I got the job. So Tracy was there and she saw Emery come in and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't get that one. That'll be the last one. Well, that's it for me at the end of the day. But for me, just seeing one of my grandchildren being born is blessing enough. Especially if you go back to like our parents, like fathers were not allowed in the delivery room, let alone a grandfather. Like when me, Anthony, Mark, and Chris were born, my dad wasn't in the delivery room. He was outside in the waiting room like it was back in the 60s. That's just how it was, which to me was just stupid. But I won't go there. I just won't go there. But so just to be there now, so to have seen all four of my children be born, and then to be in the delivery room to watch my oldest granddaughter be born, I'm happy. I am content. I'm good to go. I ain't got no problems with that. So we were doing that. But before that, rewind a minute. Before that, in early March of this year, obviously, my daughter's boyfriend, who is now her fiance, asked her to marry him. So that was a whole big weekend also. I think that was the weekend of March 4th. And typically when I record these episodes, I record them on the weekends, even though I'm recording this one on a Thursday afternoon in June. And it's hot as hell in here. I didn't turn the air conditioner on yet, any of that kind of stuff, because I'm just going to wing this one, because this is going to be a fun episode, right? So that was the whole big thing, the whole baby shower, engagement party at this restaurant in Yonkers, New York. And so we did that whole thing. And then after that was over, I went to Guitar Center and picked up my new bass guitar. And for those who are watching on YouTube, this here is the new bass guitar. It's not plugged in or anything, but this is the new one. I love this guitar. It sounds so awesome. And listen out for it. It will be on many of the new upcoming songs, except for the ones that are coming up, except for the songs that are coming this month, they're going to be on that one. But the ones coming after that will be on most of those songs. Right? So that was a whole big thing. So I have a new granddaughter. I have a new son-in-law coming up now. They're all in the midst of planning their wedding and stuff now. Between them planning their wedding and Emery driving them up the wall, I mean like up the wall, that's fun for me to watch, quite frankly. That's kind of fun for me to watch. So, new baby, new son-in-law on the way, wedding plans on the way, and at the same time, my middle son, who actually my youngest son from my first marriage, Colin, he and his wife, they got married back in August 11th of 2020 during the pandemic, right? And they have been trying to plan the full blown out wedding since then. Well, of course, they decided to do it now, so that's being planned out as well as too. So there's two weddings if you can call this a movie, we're gonna call it two weddings and a baby, right? And so all of that's been going on top of writing new songs, recording new songs for next year, and still prepping to get the next 3 songs out this year. So as many of you know, I had mentioned I was going to release Gentle, the next song after Take It Higher, in late May. That didn't happen because all things that are going on, and I also just needed some rest and some downtime from all of the heavy load that I had to do for Take It Higher. So that didn't happen, but Gentle right now is on schedule to be released in June, unless something unforeseen comes up. Many of you have told me, don't worry about it, don't sweat it. You're with me, you're on board, everything is good. And I don't want to disappoint, but at the same time, all the healing from the PTSD is going really, 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 really good. But it is a slow and discomforting, uncomfortable process. But at the same time, its healing is getting better. Driving, while I'm not 100%, it's expanded more. I feel much better behind the wheel. Eating out in public now, my throat doesn't swell up and get all crazy. It's madness. The panic attacks are few and far in between. Just anxiety stuff going on now, but mid-grade to low grade anxiety, some nervousness, so all that. So the nervous system is calming down, and I'm really happy about that. I've been doing my herbalism stuff and making all of my different type of infusions using burdock root, using dandelion leaf, burdock root, and then also skull cap, because that really enhances the whole body, but it's a nerve vine, so it also focuses very much so on the nervous system, and it digs deeper in to panic attacks, anxiety, PTSD, stuff like that, and it actually has been working pretty good. So Rebecca, if you've been listening, I know we're going to get back to you on that. It's working pretty good, but I will follow up with you one-on-one as well as with that. So that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. It's been kind of busy, but working on all this stuff and getting it all done, and that's it. But I did want to get something out for June, and I have a really, really fun show for this episode. I'm calling it They Make Me Feel, right? And these are the songs that that come on, and right away I feel something. Right away it strikes a chord. Right away it strikes an emotion. Now some of these songs don't do that to me as much anymore, because a lot of stuff I've worked out of myself and stuff like that is kind of gotten through. But over the decades, these songs would just come on the radio, or I would play them in the car or whatever, and it would strike an immediate emotion. And I wanted to share these songs with you, and this is not an exhaustive list. I mean, there are more songs, but these were the songs that stood out in my mind whenever I think about a song that makes me get emotional on some level, right? These are the 6 songs that are on my mind. And there's other things about this song, so we'll get into it. So what I want to do right now, I don't want to, do a whole bunch of talking and stuff like that. I just want to kind of catch everybody up as to where the hell I've been over the last month. I guess it's been, if you're on Facebook, you see me posting it all the time. So if you're not on Facebook with me, Go on Facebook. Also, you can join the email list, David at davidknightcompose.com, or go to my website, davidknightcompose.com, and there's an email form there. Join the email list. My email servicing company screwed up and dumped about 135 emails off of my list. So if you have not been getting emails from me, I plan to send out an update email in a couple of days, probably one day next week. Well, if you didn't get it, then that means you're not on the list. So you got dumped if you were on the list. So if you have not been getting emails from me, you may want to go to the website, davidknightcompose.com. The email form is right there on the home page, and just drop in your name and your email address and jump back on the list if you've noticed that, hey, I haven't been getting emails from Dave. If you unsubscribe from the list, not a biggie, no problem, it's all good. Matter of fact, some people I take off the list, so it's all good. I don't take it personal whatsoever. So if you want to unscribe away. Have yourself an unscribing good time. That's it. So let's jump on over there now, and I want to really get into the songs that make me feel. All right, welcome to Back in the Dave, and I'm your host, David Knight, and we're doing the songs that make me feel, right? The songs that make me feel. So like, we all have songs that, for lack of a better word, trigger us, right? They just trigger us. And I have at least 6 songs that over the decades have triggered me in one way or another. And quite frankly, the whole initial premise behind Back in the Dave is about that. It was about those songs that when you're in the car driving, and a song comes on the radio and it just triggers you. And it triggers an emotion, whatever that emotion may be. That emotion just might make you smile, right? We don't know. It depends on the song. It depends on your life. It depends on your history. Most of all, it depends on your experiences and the perception of your experiences as well, and the connection between your experience, your perception, and that song. All right? So one of the first songs that triggered me, and it did not trigger me when I was a little boy, and this song came out, I believe, it says 1974, but I thought this song came out in the early 70s, like 71, 72, somewhere around there. It sounds too old to have been released in 1974, because there was a huge change in how music sounded between 1970 and 1974. And to me, this song sounds early 70s, 70, 71, but it says 74 when I look at the copyright, but who knows? That could have been when it was copywritten and not released. Who knows? Anyway, this is a song from a group, they call themselves Crown Heights Affair. They're from Brooklyn, from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, I believe. And these boys were bad. And friends that I know, well, some of my mentors who were like, 20 some odd years older than me, they knew members of this band, right? I never met any of the members of this band, Crown Heights Affair, but many of my mentors knew the members of this band. Many of my mentors played with the members of this band. This was a very popular local band in the New York tri-state, and at that time, the 4 boroughs. It was a very popular band at the time. And they had a song that was a real big hit dance song, right? A real big hit dance song back at that time that I loved. I simply loved. And whenever this song came on, most of the time it came on, it was in the car once again on those weekends with my mom, either going to the mall or going to one of my grandparents' house. And this song come on the radio, which I believe was AM radio, because FM did not hit New York until 1974. But again, the dates are kind of crisscrossed here, so I don't know. But this song was one of those songs that would just put me in a trance, and it was an instrumental for the most part. It was one of those chants. This is one of the songs that influenced me. In fact, this is the key song that influenced me to do Take It Higher the way I did, right? But I'm going to jump into it right quick, and then we'll come back on the back end, and I'll tell you really how this song would trigger me at that time, because it's kind of fun at that time, right? So here we go. Crown Heights Affair, Dreamin' a Dream, rock and roll. Crown Heights Affair, Dreamin' a Dream. Do you hear the energy in that song? I mean, the energy in that song. If you get a moment, play the episode back and just play that song. Listen to the energy. The horns, especially towards the end, is insane, like totally insane. Okay? It's the energy of that song that always triggered me. It would capture me and put me in a mode of wanting to dance. And most of the time when I heard that song, like I was saying before, I kind of cut myself off. It was on the radio, in the car with my mother and my siblings going to the mall at my grandparents' house, and I wanted to dance. That song, I just wanted to dance and dance and dance with this song every time I heard it, because to this day, I have the record. I'll go right over here as you see. Hang on, for those who are on YouTube or my turntable, I have it right here. Right here. It almost stays on my turntable because I will get up on a Saturday morning and put that vinyl on my turntable, or it's already on there for the most part, and put the needle on the record, and I will be in here dancing my ass off. The song has so much energy. Now, from a musician standpoint, the synthesizer solo, that main line, the horns come in. Oh my God, the energy in that song is outrageous. It's out of control. So that's what that song does to me. It like that old Steve Martin, my legs won't keep still. I just can't stop dancing. That's what that song does to me. That's what that song pulls out of me. I'm sure that's what the musicians and the writer of that song intended for the song to do. But it's such a simple song. The bass line, doom 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 doom. It's such a simple bass line, but it's intricate. Don't be mistaken. If those are bass players out there, try it. You'll see it's a simple bass line, but if you don't play it the way he played on that daggone record, it knocks the whole groove out of the pocket, as with most songs. We all know that as bass players, right? So Dreamin' a Dream wasn't a big successful hit nationally, wasn't a super duper big hit on the pop crossover charts, but in the African American communities and on African American radio, whether it was 98.7 or if it was in 74, whether it was WBLS 107.5, or whether it was WWRL on AM, that song rocked the box. And when we were growing up at that time, when we were on the street, well, I wasn't really on the street because my father wasn't having that shit, but that's another story. But when we were still on the street with our friends out in the block, on our street, on our block, I should say, there was almost always somebody blasting that song in their house, and it would stop me right in my tracks. It would just stop me cold right in my tracks. That's how much I love that song. And again, if you go back to 1974, or if it happened to come out in the early 70s, this song predates me being a musician. If it came out in 74, I didn't decide to be a musician until 2 years later, 1976. So it predates me being a musician. And it's one thing that's been on my mind quite a bit, and I'm not gonna get deep into this, is that how in tune, prior to me making a choice to be a musician, how in tune I was with music from the age of probably 3, 4, 5. Because one of the first songs I remember hearing when I was really, really young, like maybe 3 or 4 years old, was My Girl by The Temptations. And that was one of those songs that stopped me too. It didn't make the list, though it should have. It didn't make the list because they just that song My Girl grabbed me in other ways, but these songs that I have on this list kind of grabbed me in more unique ways, I guess I could say. And Dreamin' a Dream is one of those songs. It's one of those songs that just makes me want to dance and get my legs going, get my body moving. But it's a heart and soul type of dance. It's the energy that just hits the soul, that just hits the heart with no real vocals other than that chant, going on in the song. That's about it. All right, I want to move to the next song now. And the next song is a song by The Temptations. And this song, took my mind. It would draw images in my mind. Right? This song would just draw images in my mind. The name of the song is called I Wish It Would Rain. Right? David Ruffin on lead vocals. And y'all know how I feel about David Ruffin and his vocals. I love Lionel Richie, but Lionel Richie who, when it comes to vocals and stuff like that, I'm sorry. I love Luther Vandross, but Luther Vandross who, when it comes to David Ruffin, that's how I feel about it. And I know a lot of people out there saying, yo, you nuts, man, you nuts. I'm like, I might be nuts, but hey, that's how I feel. Had David Ruffin been on tour at the same time that Luther Vandross was on tour, and Ruffin was playing at Madison Square Garden, and Luther Vandross was at the Coliseum, and that's the Coliseum, and I had to choose between which one to go to. I'm going to see Dave, and I'll catch Luther on the next trip. That's just how I felt about it, because I like heart and soul. I like any singer, especially a male singer, who just has that gut-wrenching heart and soul. And David Ruffin had that. He really did. Another one that had very similar was the lead singer for the Four Tops. Why can't I remember his name right now? Like I had it and I lost it. It'll come back when it does. I'll say. But you all knew what I'm talking about. You know, I believe in you and me. That dude, right? I forgot his name. How can I forget his name? Levi Stubbs. There you go. Okay, he's another one, but he had a soulful voice, not gut wrenching, just more soulful. Anyway, O.C. Smith is another one. Okay, I wish it would rain. It didn't matter where I was. It didn't matter how sunny the day was outside. And I was very young when this song came out. I believe it was in the early 70s, late 60s, so I must have been between 6 and 8 years old probably when the song came out. I didn't have a real big clue what the storyline of the song was, but I kind of knew. I kind of knew that he was sad and he was upset. I didn't really realize it was about a relationship and a girl and stuff like that. I knew he was sad, knew he was upset, and I knew that he wanted to go outside and cry in the rain, because if he cried in the rain on his face would cover up the tears in his eyes. And as a child, I understood that. As a child, I got that. I got that, like so visceral. It was so visceral to me that I got that. And so whenever I hear that song, it just takes me outside in the rain, torrential rains, downpour. This is one of those songs where I could be thinking about my brother, my grandmother, my divorce from Tracy, anything that I'm going to say was traumatizing in my life on a general principle level, right? This song, I'm saying it this way because this song has no attachment in my life with any of those events. When this song came out, I hadn't met Tracy yet. When this song came out, my brother was still alive. When this song came out, my dad was not sick. He was alive. This was a time in my life when I thought life was going great for me. In reality, it really wasn't, but I thought it was, right? But that was little David protecting himself. That's another story. It's another episode. I'm working on that one. So it doesn't have that type of connection. But what it does have for me is I know what it's like to cry. And sometimes you just wish it would rain, because now with all these events that I've had in my life, I understand the song. I can relate to the song. And even though I have never in my life been ashamed to cry to the point where I want to go outside and wish it would rain so to cover up my tears, I can certainly understand the meaning behind the lyric. I can certainly understand it. And so whenever I hear this song, it just stops me, and I put my hand over my heart and my hand up, and I just say, I get it. I wish it would rain. I wish it would rain. All right. Temptations. I wish it would rain. David Ruffin's voice, so bad. I want to go outside. Oh my God. So I won't elaborate on that song anymore, because I think I did more than enough at bringing the song in, introducing the song, right? I'm sure all of you, whatever your stories are with these songs as well, go to iTunes, leave it there, go to the website on the show notes page, which I'll drop in the link here, the show notes page. Go there and leave a comment on the show notes page. Let me know what that song does for you. If anything, let me know. Or if you can relate to what I'm saying when it comes to that song, let me know that as well, right? So just drop it there. And like I said earlier in the show, if you have not been getting emails from me, if you leave a comment at the website, it's going to most likely prompt and ask you for your email address, or pop it in, that'll put you on the list and get you back in my circle, all right? If you want to. If not, I'm cool listening to the show. Or if you catch me on Facebook, however you get your day fixed, I don't care. It works for me. I don't give a who shot Riddler in the cornhole. It works for me, all right? Let's move on. Next song. This is another one of those heart and soul songs, but this is a female vocalist. And as a producer and writer, as I began writing and producing music, I, for the most part, all the time, gravitated towards writing and producing for female artists. I love female singers, though I'm getting deeper and deeper into male singers as well. I love female singers. Female singers with a husky voice just turn me on to writing songs like, oh, I can write this. I mean, that was one of the first things that drew me to Tracy. Tracy's husky, raspy voice. Gladys Knight, husky, raspy voice. Toni Braxton, husky, raspy voice. David Ruffin, it's the same thing for me. Because to me, in my DNA, that resonates with heart and soul. You go down low, you go down real low, get those low notes or whatever. Or you can, because your voice is so hoarse sounding, you can hardly get a note out. It makes you kind of crack or screech and make a weird sound. That just puts that extra, bam, oh my God, she meant that shit. This singer is not that type of singer. This is Stephanie Mills. She had a different way of doing it. And it wasn't so much though she did, let me just clarify this, though she did an outstanding job with the vocals on this song. It was not, pray tell, her vocal performance from a producer standpoint that brought me to this song. It was the song. And once, before I began to heal, and I did not know what was going on with me, and I was having chronic panic attacks that lasted 6 and 7 hours. That's still a freaking mind blower to me. I would be playing music in my car. I'll never forget, there was this one day I was playing music in the car, and I had double park. We're here in Manhattan. I had double park. Maggie jumped out to go to the bank, to go to the ATM machine. This is, oh my God, this 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, somewhere around there. Marcus was very, very young because he was still in the car seat in the back of the car. And I'm playing music in the car. At this time it was cassette tape, that's all I had. And I'm playing one of my tapes that I put together. And this song, Home, came on from the Wiz. We all know this song, we all love this song. I sat there in that car seat while she was at that ATM machine and cried like a baby, to the point where I had to reach in the glove compartment, take out the napkins that we all keep in the glove compartments when we're eating food in the car, we don't make a mess in our damn car, and use it as a tissue to wipe the tears from my eyes because it wasn't raining. I just, at that point in my life, not knowing what was going on with me, not knowing why I was so depressed, while I was so anxious, while I was having panic attacks, while my body was experiencing so many chronic things, from hives to whelps to swollen throats. I mean, I won't even go there because the list is, I counted 32 symptoms of the course of this PTSD. And at that time, I had no idea by any stretch of the imagination what was going on with me. Not at all. All I know is that when that song came on and she said, when I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Those phrases, those lyrical phrases right there, the waterworks started, and I couldn't shut them down to save my life. Maggie walked back in the car and she goes, oh my God, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, nothing, just leave me alone, because I'm still, not knowing it at the time, I'm mad and enraged and have no clue that I'm mad and enraged. And that's what's bringing up all of this stuff. All of this, I just had no clue. And so I gave her, I'm quite sure I gave her some type of flippant answer, most likely because again, I was mad, I was enraged, and she was part of the problem at that time. She was a big part of the damn problem. The hell you mean? What's wrong with me? You see, I'm sitting there crying. Leave me alone, right? Home. Let it rip. Get your tissues ready, because here it comes. Here you go, home. It doesn't have that effect on me anymore because I'm feeling better inside. And even though I still sometimes long to be home, back in Queens, 187-12 Ridgedale Street, with my dad and my mom, my little brother, and my sister, and my older brother, those days are gone. We don't get those back, and that's, knowing what I know now, that's a good thing because I thought it was great back in those days, but the onset of my PTSD came from those days, right? But you still have that longing to be home. Home is where the heart is, and my heart is with my family, right? My heart is with my family. And for me at this point in my life, whether my family is my family of origin, the family I was born into, or the family that I started with Tracy and now Maggie and my children, and now my larger family with my grandchildren, or my family, all of you who listen to the show, the fans who buy my music, who follow me, who are hanging tight with me as I go through this whole daggone thing and try to get myself together. My heart's with my family. And whatever family I'm with at that particular time is where my heart is at. And so home is where my heart is. It's an old cliche, but I get it now. When the song Home came out with the play The Wiz, I didn't get it. To me at that time, it was a beautiful song. And my subconscious interest in music and songwriting at that time made me analyze that song a lot. So that was Home, Stephanie Mills from The Wiz. Now this song, all right, y'all gonna say, what the hell? Why the hell did this man put this song on this episode? All right, let's just play it. And I'll fill in the blanks on the back end. So here you go. Play the song. I ain't gonna say, I'm just gonna just play the song and watch what, okay, I'm gonna play, here comes one of my long ass entrances. I'm gonna play the song. And then when I play the song, you tell me what the song did for you. And then I'm gonna come at the end of the song and tell you what this song does for me every time it pops up on my playlist and it plays. I'm gonna tell you what it does for me and see if it does for you what it does for me. Here we go. Let it rip. All right, you know, that's the Partridge Family. Come on, get happy. But that's the song that opened their show, the Partridge Family show that they did back in the 70s. That show was a big ass hit. That was one of the shows that influenced me musically. And Danny Bonaducci played bass. That influenced me. I didn't know how to do it. And also the Monkees, that influenced me also. For all you Monkees fans out there, Monkees, the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch, all y'all know what I'm talking about. All y'all, even some of y'all early 1950s baby boomers, y'all know what I'm talking about with those shows, because you know that I know that you know that you know that I know that you know that y'all watch those shows too. Don't even try to front, all right? Because I'm a little younger, don't mean y'all didn't watch it. Man, it's like 80 degrees outside. I did not turn on the AC because I don't want it on the recording. And I got these lights on. It must be about 90 some odd degrees in this daggone studio because I got the gear on and everything. I didn't turn on everything. If I turned on all the gear, it'd be yeah. All y'all would hear would be this. And that would have been Dave hitting the damn floor from heat exhaustion, right? All right, come on, get happy. How did that song make you feel? Every time I hear that song, how did it make you feel? When that song first came on, I didn't tell you what it was. It first came on. How did it make you feel? I'll wait. You know how? All right. Go to the show notes page and put on there how it made you feel. And don't copy me if it didn't make you feel that way. So let me share with you how it makes me feel. Every time I feel that song, it makes me smile. It makes me want to do the Carlton dance, which I know how to do. Before Carlton even did the dance, I was doing that damn dance. When that show came on and I saw that boy do that dance, I was like, oh my God, he's doing my dance. Oh crap. I do that dance. I don't do that much anymore, but I used to do that dance all the time. Whenever I hear that song makes me feel so good. And of course, that was the intention of the song. Come on, get happy. A whole lot of love is what we'll be bringing. Will make you happy. I mean, come on. We had a dream. We're going traveling together. Yeah, well, it's a great freaking song. We have to admit, the opening theme songs for our shows from back in those days should have all been on the radio. Not just freaking SWAT, but all of them should have been like another one, Chico and the Man. I have it on my playlist. That was a full song, but I don't think it ever made the radio. Because I think I heard it once on the radio with rotation playing the radio back then. But Chico and the Man, that song is badass, man. Please forget that it was a TV show. The song was a killer show. And for you folks that don't know, That's the Way of the World by Earth, Wind & Fire, that song was written for a movie by the same name. Because that was the name of the movie, they named the song. They did That's the Way of the World, and the song was a hit, and the movie was a flop. The movie was never done. It just didn't get off the ground at all. But the song did. It's a classic at this point. So come on, get happy. The Partridge Family. If that song doesn't make you happy, let me know. I'm curious. If that song doesn't put a smile on your face, or make you want to just do a little bop, little Carlton dance or whatever, just have some fun, I'd be really surprised. Because that song just gets the endorphins and stuff kind of going in your head, like, just releases a whole lot of come on, get happy, good kind of fun stuff, right? All right, so let's come on, get happy. Partridge Family. Now again, this is my short list. All right, I mean, this is just like really my short list. That songs that I just kind of said, okay, let me just do these songs and put them out there. I got 3 more songs. 2, I'm going to do back to back. We're going to talk about them afterwards. And of course, this is from my boy. This is from Lionel Richie and the Commodores, right? I'm going to fade these bad boys together. And then on the back end of both these songs, I'm going to talk about them because these 2 songs, I won't say are the only 2 songs on the list, but these 2 songs are the 2 strongest songs on the list that today, in present day, in June of 2024, still can almost every time pull a strong emotion from me. Let's get into them. Zoom and Easy. Here we go. My boy, Lionel Richie, with his Commodores. I'm sitting here thinking, those of you watching me on YouTube, y'all see me standing here thinking because what I'm saying to myself is, I want to keep this short. But with these 2 songs, it's hard for me to do that. Because these 2 songs have in the past and continue in present day to take me there. So I could easily spend an hour damn near talking about each song individually. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to just try to see if I can concise this down a little bit and just like really, get to the core of these 2 songs because it's a few things. There are attachment events with these songs, experiences in my life with these songs, and a bunch of stuff. Let's start with Zoom. So Zoom. I may be just a foolish dreamer, but I don't care. Because I know my happiness is waiting out there. That's the wrong lyric. Because I know my happiness is waiting out there somewhere. Okay, that's the right lyric. That lyric alone makes me think about my music career. Because I will be 62 in August of this year, 2024. So for those folks who listen to this podcast 30, 40 years from now, and you're wondering when this is this is June 6, 2024. I'm 61, going to 62. And with all of the praise, accolades, and all the things that I got when I was in my 20s with my band and as a producer and as they say, a budding songwriter and this, and that, my career did not do anything that I or people in the music industry or my colleagues or my family thought it would do. Why is that? Well, when you're walking around full of anger, rage, and trauma, and you don't know it, you're behaving in ways where success is always short. You grasp it for a minute and it goes. Grasp for a minute and it goes. Grasp for a minute and it goes. Which is what has happened to me over the last 40 freaking years. So whenever I hear Zoom, it makes me feel like, oh, this is my music career. You know, that's part of my happiness that I want for myself, is to be successful as a songwriter and now as an artist. You go back over the years, it was successful as a songwriter and producer, not so much trying to be an artist, right? So that's where that part of that song comes from. The other part of Zoom is I like to fly away. I like to fly far away from here where my mind can be fresh and clear. Prior to me knowing that I was full of anger, rage, trauma, anxiety, PTSD, depression, I mean all of it. I got all of that. Prior to me knowing that, I just wanted to get away. There were several times I was on the phone with my mother and I said, Ma, all I really want to do, and this is before I knew anything. This was like back in the 90s. I said, all I really want to do, Ma, is live up on a mountain and be with the animals. I want to be some sage up on a mountain and not live in a cage, but live in a log home on a mountain in upstate New York and just live my life, do my little music here and there, and call it a day. I like to fly far away from here where my mind can be fresh and clear. That was my getaway. So Zoom, in the big picture, is my getaway song. When Zoom comes on, it takes my mind where it can be fresh and clear. So all of my troubles, all of my problems, all of my pain, all of my anger, all of the rage I felt, all of the heartbreak that I've had, I just want to get away. And Zoom was that getaway song. Well, I like to fly away. Well, I like to fly away. You know, that's the getaway song. Zoom, baby. I just want to fly away where my mind can be. Like, that's all I can say. You know, I wish the world was truly happy. Living is one. I wish the world they call freedom someday would come. I was all tangled up in that emotionally for decades. From the time that song came out, when I didn't know, because that song came out the year after my brother had been killed. And when I bought that album for Easy and for Brick House. Easy because of the piano, and Brick House because of the bass. I was like, oh wow, that's a cool song. You know, I won't go there. I'm trying to keep this short, right? So that song was pulling me at that time when I was 15 in the summer of 1977, when that whole album stuff really hit big in 77. And I didn't know why. I had no clue why. So Zoom, that's the getaway song. That's the getaway song. Let's move on to Easy. Easy, it's big piano, it's big melodic, rhythmic piano, dun, 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 that whole thing. I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Well, there you go. There you go. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. I flipped that. That's me and Tracy. When Tracy walked out, oh, that was it. That was just totally it with that song. But rewind a few years before that, that was also my dad. So it's like my father died in August of 1990. the movie Ghost came out with Whoopi Goldberg and what's that dude's name, Patrick Swayze. And I wanted to see that movie so bad because I thought that movie would tell me that there was life after death, and I could summon and call my father back, and this movie was going to show me how to do it. I was 28 years old, so what can I tell you? You know, I guess that's why I got into astral travel later on, and I was able to do all of that. But the movie didn't do it for me. Um, but I liked the movie. I enjoyed the movie, but I was disappointed because I went to the theater with certain expectations, and the movie had nothing to do with that for the most part. And it did, but it didn't, right? So we're driving home in the car, and when we drive home in the car, I pull into our driveway, and as I'm pulling into the driveway, the radio's on, and that big piano melody comes on. That was such a huge trigger. I just broke out crying. Tracy was, I think, like in shock because she had never seen me break out crying like that in my life. I prior to my father's death, she had never seen me cry. When Chase broke up, I I wanted to just break down on my knees. I was so devastated when Chase broke up. I wanted to break down on my knees and cry, but I didn't. So I felt I had to be strong for her. You know how us men have to be. I don't hell with that crap anymore. I'm doing what I need to do. But when Easy came on the radio that day, um, it was like that. I just busted out crying uncontrollably. My father had only been dead maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks. His presence was still strong in my life at that time. His aliveness was still strong in my life at that time. That song took me back to 1977 when he was first diagnosed with scleroderma. So just hearing that piano just shot through so many emotions through me. It took me back to 1977. It took me back now in the present day. It took me back to when I was a kid and when my brother was there. I mean, just everything. The song being one of the first songs that I loved after my brother was killed, and that was the year after my father had gotten sick. And man, it was just a flood rush of emotions sitting behind that wheel. I had put the car in park, put the car in neutral, pulled up the brake on the car, engine was running, and I was just crying uncontrollably. And Tracy just sat there in the seat and just held on to me and just said, "You're gonna be okay." You know? And I think that's probably one of the most emotional moments her and I ever had in our 10 plus year relationship. I do believe so. I could be wrong. And if she's listening, text me, buzz me, let me know if I'm wrong. If there's others that I don't remember. So that's Zoom and Easy. I did pretty good. I kept it short, right? I kept it short. The next song, and we're gonna close the episode with this song. I'm gonna brief it a little bit, okay? And we'll get into it, and I'll come back on the back end and dig a little bit deeper in, and then we're gonna go out with this song. All right. So this is Rolls Royce, "Do Your Dance," dance song. But it wasn't about dancing. It wasn't about dancing. This is the song, one of the songs that morning when my trauma broke on Wednesday, September 21st of 2022. I'm driving my car like 5 o'clock in the morning. And this song spoke to me in ways that to this day has been so profound. Do Your Dance, a dance song from 1978. So profound. But we'll get to that in the back end because right now, just do your dance. Rolls Royce, "Do Your Dance," 1978. Man, I was 16 when that song came out? I love that song. By this time, I'm all in as a musician. I got my bass amplifier. I'm in MU1. I'm the bass player for this band. I call it garage band. This time with Clayton, Johnny, and Vinny, and myself, the four of us as MU1. Clayton is gone, hard to believe. Johnny's gone. It's just me and Vinny left right now, just the two of us, the drummer and the bass player. That's it. And we talk back and forth. Do Your Dance. So when I'm driving the car and my whole trauma thing broke, I broke out in this energetic release of trauma emotion that while I was behind the wheel, I had never experienced before in my life. And I'm going to keep it short because I'm writing a lot of stuff about this. I want to focus on the song. But the things I went through that morning behind the wheel and in the passenger seat simultaneously, that's how deep this was. Okay, and I said I'm writing about this stuff, so you'll get all the juicy, gory details a little bit later because I really want to bring this home for other reasons. But on the Do Your Dance, why this song triggers me, why this song made me feel. The song spoke to me. The song said to me, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your life. You're off track. This is your life. You are a writer, you are a producer, and you are a musician. You're off track. After the song spoke to me that way, the next thing that happened, I began hearing stuff in the song that I never ever heard in the song before. And to this day, I still hear it. That song and the string ensemble specifically went through my whole body in a way that day that was like, holy crap, unbelievable. It opened up my ears where I hear songs differently now. I hear songs now more intricately. I mean, like, I can't explain it. I can, but again, I don't want to get crazy with all the crazy stuff, but wow. I hear songs in so much more detail now. I hear parts that I don't even think other people may hear at this point. Like frequencies in between, like notes, like just crazy stuff. And it's not only that song. Since that day, I hear it in almost every song I hear now. So it's going to be real interesting for me to see how that song and how that experience begins to shape my music and shape how I produce and record music. Not so much write, but record and produce, right? Because I'm hearing things now, even in the studio here, I'm hearing things that I didn't hear before. So that song opened me up. And all the while I'm feeling this stuff, my body is reacting to the energy of the song, to the synthesizers, to the strings, the drums, the bass. I mean, pretty much everything except the vocals. And then to hear this voice coming out of the song that wasn't the vocals in the song saying, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your life. Just took 40 some odd years and we'll see. Hopefully it is. I believe it is. I hope y'all believe it is as well. If it is, say amen and get behind me on it. You know, because all that energy, all that divine energy, and all that human spirit energy, I'm going to need to see me through, right? So to keep it short, that's Do Your Dance. That's Do Your Dance. And those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs. I have my little notepad here, my 6 songs I want to get into you with and tell you how those songs make me feel. What songs do it for you? Like, what are those songs that do that for you? You know, again, if you feel up to it, email me, david@davidknightcompose.com, and let me know what songs do it for you. And for those who are really brave, I would love to do an episode with you guys, with somebody who's brave enough, 1 or 2 people, maybe we can get on Zoom and do it on Zoom and play the songs and tell me what these songs do for you. That would be a great episode to hear from you, my fans, what songs make you feel. It would expand out from me, you know, and bring all of you in closer to all of this that we're trying to put together here, right? So if anybody's interested in doing that, again, email me, the doc, the hood, the rock, at david@davidknightcompose.com, or drop it in Messenger on Facebook. Go to the show notes page for this episode and put it in a comment. Let me know. Reach out. Don't be scared. Don't be shy, because I don't bite. Not at all. That's a self-defense. That's a whole different story. If it's self-defense, I do whatever it takes at that point, unfortunately. So don't put me in that position, people. All right. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. My daughter's trying to get at me. She's calling me. She's texting me. I guess she got some stuff going on. Maybe with the baby. I don't know. But hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I enjoy doing it. I love those songs. Those songs still pull emotions out of me. Some not as much as they used to. Some still as they always have. But that's what music is about. That's what music is for. It's to make us feel. It's to make us smile. It's to make us dance. It's to make us think. It's to make us cry. It's to make us feel sad. Make us feel happy. Music to me is us because music is energy. And the essence of a human being is energy. When you look in a powerful microscope and you drill down past the cells, past the amoeba, past all of those things, all you see is energy. And that energy comes from the quantum field, from the grid. For those of you who might call it God, fine. Allah, fine. It's all the same thing. It's this energy, this conscious living energy that we have all co-created. And it builds up, it got heavier and heavier, and makes matter, makes solid things, which we are now. And biology, physiology, all that kind of stuff. And so music is right in alignment with that. So that's why I think music is probably the most strongest art form to human beings. Because it connects. Energy draws like energy. And so our energy draws the energy of music. Whatever that particular song might be putting out, if your energy is feeling that, it's going to pull you. That song's going to pull you to it. It's going to soothe you. It's going to heal you that way. So if you're not doing it already, use music to heal you. And don't tell me you all heal, because even those people who are like super gurus, super heal, even they're still healing. Because that energy is in our physical bodies, in our tissues, down to the cellular bone. And if you heal from your childhood trauma and other things that happen to you, that's fine. Well, if your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, one of your kids, whatever, pissed you the hell off recently, guess what? That's in you. Get it out. Try a song. Of course, meditation and a whole bunch of other things as well. All right? So I hope you enjoyed the episode. I love doing it because I love those songs. I love listening to those songs, time and time again. I love it. All right? So enjoy. Check me out. Gentle is coming out later on this month. In 2.5, maybe, give or take, weeks, it'll be out. And it's going to be one of those songs that's going to pull on you and hopefully calm you down. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling up and revved up and stuff, Gentle and its music video will hopefully calm you down. All right? So get ready for it. Look out for it. If you're not on the email list, join the email list. Once again, davidknightcompose.com. Go to the email form, fill it out, join the list, make me a happy camper, and that's it. So, as my grandmother would say, keep on living. Night out. If you enjoyed this episode, take a moment and leave a 5-star comment. I'd really appreciate it, and it seriously helps others find the show. Thank you for listening. I know you have a ton of other things on your plate that you could be doing and maybe you should be doing, but you took a moment to hang out with me, and I'm so, so grateful. So until next time, as my grandmother would say, keep on living. Night out.